Hi, my name is Jeff and welcome back to my workshop. We're going to continue work on the repainting and repair job of the Athearn Blue Box Caboose. I want to apologize for the delay in posting videos. I've had some medical issues that have had me in and out of the hospital for the last month and a half. It is hurting my family a bit, so we have set up a GoFundMe page. If you'd like to help support me and my channel and my family, please follow the link in the description below. Anything you can give would be appreciated. Now let's get to work on the model. So we finished painting it in the last episode, so now it's time to add decals. I did add a gloss coat finish to it. I've got custom decals. This Arlington Valley Heartbeat logo is going to be placed along the middle with the lines that extend out going along the border between the red and gray. So we'll start with this one. As with any decaling, I use distilled water that I have in that black tub. This will go right here. So we will soak the decal for 10 seconds in there. You've seen me do this in other videos, so I'm not going to describe exactly what I'm going to do, but I will give you a little bit of a background on the Arlington Valley Railroad. It's a freelance railroad belonging to the Arlington Heights Society of Model Engineers layout. It's one of two railroads on the layout that we operate. The Arlington Valley runs from downtown Chicago out to Davis Junction in our world, roughly following the route of the Milwaukee Road West line that followed that route where it went to Davis Junction. And so the line is loosely based on that. The paint schemes and designs were all done by club members in the past, and they've been modified over the years. But the railroad's colors of red and gray have stayed consistent. So I just added a microset to the model where the decal's going so we can get it to snug down there. The club has been around since 1974. We're located in Arlington Heights, Illinois. We meet every Friday evening, and it's open to the public, so if you're in the area, please let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to get you contact information or the address, and you can come down to visit. Once the decals come loose from the paper, as you can see, I'm just going to use a toothpick to nudge it off the backing paper and into place on the model. The paint colors over the years have changed based on availability. Originally we used a Flow Cool red and gray. Since that's no longer available, I found that the Painter's Touch 2X gray primer is a very close match. That's why I use that. And the Vallejo Gory Red also is a very close match to the red that we'd used in the past, although it is a shade darker. With the logo in place, now I'm going to add the letterboarding. So again, just get it all in place and the numbers. With that in place, then I'm going to add setting solution, or first got to do the other side before we get ahead of ourselves. With the decals all in place, I'm using Walther Salvaset. And these videos aren't sponsored, but I do want to let you know the products that I'm using. I purchased my own products. Salvaset is stronger than Microscale's Microsol. So this is really good for custom decals and older decals that may have become brittle, and really helps them snug down well. Once you get this on there, the decal may curl a little bit. It'll flatten itself out as it dries, so don't worry about it. Just get the setting solution on, and then don't touch the decals. Once the setting solution has dried, then we'll check it for air bubbles. As you can see, using the light from the camera, I can, and at looking at an angle, I can see there's no air bubble, so we're good there. If there had been, I'd use the sharp point of a number 11 blade in my hobby knife to pop the bubble, and apply more Salvacet. So with the decals in place and the numbering on here, we are ready to move on to our next step, which is going to be glazing the windows. But before I do that, I need to give it a coat of flat varnish, matte varnish, finish it up, and then we can, with that done, we can start installing window glazing. I have some thin clear plastic. This is from the Arlington Heights Society Model Engineer Club stash. We've got a whole bunch of it. I just brought a sheet home. I'm using canopy cement, just a little bit between the two windows here on the cupola. Then I can just set that in place and drop it in. If a little bit oozes into the window, I can use the back of a toothpick to clean it out, or leave it alone. It will dry clear. We're going to do the same thing for the Caboose body. And to cut this clear plastic, it cuts very easily with just a pair of household scissors. So I can cut pieces to size, and again, just using the canopy glue, just glue them into place. Inside the car body, it's a little harder to get your fingers in, as you'll see with this first one, and get everything positioned. Your fingers kind of get in the way of being able to see where you're placing things, so it's a little trickier. Solution to that, as you'll see with this next one, is to use a pair of tweezers to set things in place, and that's what I'm going to do for the rest of these. So again, a little glue around the window. It just needs a thin layer. It doesn't take much. And I prefer canopy glue over something like CA. The CA will fog on the windows if you're not extremely careful with it, whereas the canopy glue dries clear, so you're good to go there. So just get these finished up on both sides, and don't forget the windows on the ends of the car as well. Once the window glazing is done, we'll be ready to start work on the underbody and do final assembly and add any detailing we need to want to add to this, as well as weathering, and that will be in our next episode. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for my next episode.